out today to the polls and everything else you have to do. So let's go ahead and check in with her. And Candace, you said that it's a pretty good forecast. Might need a little bit of rain gear, maybe keep the umbrella handy for a few sprinkles.
Right. Yeah, you know what? There's going to be a couple scattered showers in the forecast, just like yesterday. You'll have times that the rain comes in a little more moderate, maybe a little heavier, and then others are just kind of more light scattered showers. So they're going to be really hit or miss, in and out pretty quickly. They shouldn't last too long, but if you're going to be standing outside waiting to vote, you're going to end up getting lucky and getting a scattered shower or two when you're in
You
line.
know what I
Just make
used
sure you have
yesterday? I got caught. I had the windshield, like the sun visor thing.
oh, the sunshade.
I did one of those floppy ones, the like
Uh-huh.
foldable one that you can never get folded back up
Oh,
right. I used that
yeah.
to
Oh,
run in
that's a
somewhere
smart
because I
one.
couldn't find my umbrella. Use
Well,
what you got, right? A
as
Publix
the
bag.
mother as the mom I am, I got 2 little mini umbrellas for the girls that, like, sit in
Yes.
their side of the car. I don't have one. So the kids I'm
So
sitting
you
there
use
trying
the
to
mini
fight
one
them. They're
sometimes?
both banging their umbrellas all over the place. It's a mess. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you have the umbrellas. It's not gonna be a washout of a day, just if you're gonna be out and about this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt to kinda keep one in the back seat. But along with waiting in line, dodging some rain, we're also going to have to be dealing with some of that heat as
Yeah.
temperatures for today will be in those mid 80s, but at
Ah.
times it could be feeling closer to like the low 90s. So it's
Ooh.
not going to be
Okay.
as comfortable and as pleasant as it has been over the past couple of days, as we have
All
some more
right.
tropical moisture that we're going to have to contend with over the next couple of afternoons. So prepare yourself. So let's take it to the maps and show you what's going on. Muggy, warm, few speedy showers in the forecast today for your election day. Now, as we head into the rest of the week, really Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to start bumping up those rain chances just a little bit, up to about a 50% chance. Not a washout, but just a little more oomph in our rain coverage as we head again Wednesday and Thursday. And that's all thanks to Tropical Storm Rafael. Now, we're not looking at a direct impact from the system, but some of that outflow moisture could start moving into our local forecast, kind of enhancing the rain chances that we have. So as of right now, we're watching 2 different areas in the tropics. The National Hurricane Center highlighting that one zone in yellow for the potential of possible formation. As of right now, low chance within the next 7 days. Then just to our south, we have Tropical Storm Rafael. So locally, it's going to be kind of a 1-2 punch with these 2 systems. So Rafael is going to start increasing our rain Wednesday and Thursday, but it's this area highlighted in yellow that will have the potential of bringing with it a couple more scattered showers into the forecast by late weekend or so. So let's take it step by step. Tropical Storm Rafael right now has sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, still expected to become a hurricane as it moves over the Cayman Islands, over western Cuba, and then emerging out into the Gulf of Mexico. Some models fluctuate back and forth whether or not it's going to strengthen potentially to a stronger category 1, a weak category 2. We'll have to wait and see, but the models do agree that this is going to be taking more of a westerly track and steering clear of most of Florida, which is certainly good news. And that's that thanks to that big ridge of high pressure that's kind of acting like that roadblock, that little safe bubble from anything tropical. Now, back here at home, the wind gusts today are going to be what we've been dealing with for the last couple of days, gusting up to about 30 miles per hour, potentially along our coastline. And it's going to continue to stay very breezy as we will start to see the pressure gradient kind of tighten as Tropical Storm Rafael again moves a bit closer towards us, but not technically towards us, right? Coastal hazards because of that breeze. We got that high risk of rip currents, high surf advisory. We do have small craft advisories as well. So just kind of a bad day if you want to be on the boat or at the beach. Looking downrange, there goes Rafael. You can see it there moving into kind of the central portions of the Gulf of Mexico. But notice that there's a lot more green kind of in the area. So with that being said, are we talking about widespread rain, like the system is much closer? No, this is at this point in time just a couple more of those showers packing a little bit of a heavier batch of rain. Maybe could pick up maybe an inch of rain when this is all said and done. But overall, this is certainly not going to be a Central Florida storm by any means. So before we get there, scattered showers will be the name of the game for your Tuesday. As we head into late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, look what happens. You're going to start seeing a little more reds and yellows being picked up on the modeling, and that's just kind of indicating some more of those heavier rain bands. This is early Wednesday morning. Again, seeing some scattered showers with some of the bulk of the rest of the afternoon showers out towards our western communities. So overall, just rain chances today, 30%. But then as we head into tomorrow, they will go up. So as we take you here hour by hour for your Election Day Tuesday, 84 will be your high, although it will be feeling a touch warmer than that. But then on Wednesday, look how your rain chances do change a bit. They do go up to about a 50% shot for those scattered showers. And as we get results here through full 7-day forecast, keeping rain chances slightly elevated Wednesday and Thursday, a little dry slot for Friday and Saturday. And again, we're going to continue to watch the progress of that other area out in the tropics, that area highlighted in yellow. How much of a role will it play in our local forecast? We're still kind of ironing out those details, but as of now, we're keeping rain chances at about a 20%, Bridgett.
Okay, not bad at all, Candace. And it is a lot to watch when you show me that tropics map. So we'll just keep watching for your updates to sort of
It
get.
is. I mean, the good news is our conditions are favorable. Like juiced up atmosphere is starting to back off a little bit. It's still there. It's still certainly able to develop stuff tropically. But things are going to start. It's going to start getting a little more difficult to actually ramp up. Significant storms. But even with that, we don't want to. Believe me, I am the first person here in Central Florida that doesn't want to talk any more tropics. I'd like to just turn around and start talking about that cold front, which, by the way, Bridgett, I know, all right, everyone listen, our next possible cold front could be coming in not this week, but at the end of next week.
Let's get there.
So that's very long in the future. That could all change, but as of right now, that's the one thing I'm gonna keep my eyes set on.
Well, we'll take our time, but we hope it hurries up. So
yeah, agreed.
All right. Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
All right. And so with the traffic too, Trooper Steve, a little under the weather, but our Crystal Moyer is right there helping us out. Good morning, Crystal. Oh, are you on mute? Oh, she's turning you up.
Am I? Can you hear me?
She's turned you up.
Turn
You're
me
good.
up, Kathleen.
She's got you turned up.
Anyways, I just want to remind everybody, it is election day. So just have a little bit more patience on the roadway as you're passing some of these polling places. You may see sometimes, especially during the lunchtime and in the mornings, where you'll see a lot of people traveling through the area. Not just those getting out to vote, but you do have some of those campaigning for those who they want to vote for, and they are hoping that you vote for on the side of the
shoulders,
road. So,
yeah.
yes, just be careful. Use extra caution. Honestly, they're so nice today, so I love to just honk at everyone. They'll wave at you.
You know what? They're always in such a good mood.
Yes, and they've been out there all day, so just give them a little honk. It doesn't matter whether you support or not. It just just to get everybody's spirits up on
and
election
your poll
day.
workers
So let's get
too.
on over to traffic. Yeah. Yes, of course. They are working extremely hard so that we all have the opportunity to vote and do our American duty here. So heading over to traffic, we are dealing with a couple of crashes here. The first one is over near Belle Isle in Orange County along State Road 528 westbound, just after Conway Road. At least one lane is blocked there, but the good news is no major delays. So obviously, if you're traveling throughout that area, you see that road closure, just move over for those troopers working that crash so they can get this cleared safely and quickly. Over towards Daytona Beach, if you're traveling along I-95 southbound in Volusia County, as you are heading towards that entrance ramp on the State Road 400, you're going to see a crash off to the side there. Some flashing lights. Again, no delays to report, plenty of space to move around along I-95. It's a different story over in the Sanford, Lake Mary area. We are seeing some delays building along I-4 heading westbound, and this is going to be between 417 all the way down past Lake Mary Boulevard, moving at 20 miles per hour in some spots. So obviously we're seeing things start to pick up as you're heading towards the downtown area. Once you get downtown, you're looking pretty good. No major delays to report along the Maitland area, the Metro downtown Orlando area. Here are your drive times. If you're traveling westbound, this is where you're going to see some of that traffic near Sanford and Lake Mary between 417 and State Road 50, about 28 minutes. That is a red light ride. And then if you're traveling from Osceola Parkway, we're also seeing delays down near Kissimmee heading eastbound. If you're traveling from Osceola Parkway to State Road 50 along I-4, 30 minutes. So allow plenty of extra time this morning, folks, as you're getting up and heading out the door. We're going to give this a moment to update here, but this is a DOT camera, I-4 and Anderson Street. That is frozen, not live right now. Sometimes it just takes a minute to wake up and show us what's really going on out there along I-4. So we'll just go ahead and skip that. If you're traveling along I-95 down towards Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach, Flagler County, Volusia County, other than that crash that I told you about near State Road 400 and I-95, you're looking pretty good. Heading down towards Brevard County, Titusville, St. John's, Rockledge, Satellite Beach, good morning, you're looking pretty good. And then 528, the beach line, I've been keeping an eye on this east and westbound. No delays to report. It's a 34-minute ride along 528 between I-95 and I-4. Allow 36 minutes in the opposite direction between I-4 and I-95. Let's take one last look at the DOT camera, see if this one will give us a look at the beach line in Innovation Way. Again, it's just taking a minute to wake up there, but we'll just go ahead and skip that for the morning. Other than that, you're looking pretty good along Marion County, Sumter County, I-75 heading towards Ocala. You're looking pretty good. I haven't seen any crashes up and down I-75 and the Turnpike all morning long, which is some good news there, Bridgett.
Yeah, not too bad so far.
Not too bad, which is some good news because Steve is off today. So it's always nice when everybody behaves when he's gone.
I know. Hope he feels better soon. And, speaking of which, you had that special piece this morning about the headaches. And I think what was the top tip for what to take or what to do? It was ibuprofen. Was that right?
Well, Bridget, it just depends on whether you want to take over-the-counter medication or if you want to go the natural way. There are so many options to help relieve some of that headache pain. So I do have that story on clickorlando.com/insider. There are some doctors that say if you want to take over-the-counter medications, ibuprofen has proven to be more effective than acetaminophen. However, if you are pregnant, if you have certain health issues, your doctor is going to advise against that. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for something over the counter to relieve some of that pain. But of course, it is election day, so some people might have those headaches and migraines today, that's for sure.
And then at the end, I think they mentioned, like a warm bath and those compresses and everything at the end of the day. That's always a good idea. So sounds good to me.
Oh, for sure.
All right. We'll check that out too. Thanks, Crystal.
Take care.
Take care. All right, speaking of Election Day, our Mark Lehman is out there. He's been out there since before polls opened this morning. He's on the road right now to a new location. So right now we'll take a look at his preview that we had this morning on what you need to know if you're headed out today to vote if you didn't get a chance to early vote.
The wait for Election Day is finally over. This morning, polls will be opening across the country, and it comes after voters in Orange County saw long lines for several days during early voting.
What that tells me is that Orange County voters are taking this serious and they want their voice to be heard in this important election.
Supervisor of Elections Glenn Gilzine says more than half of Orange County voters have already cast their ballots through early or mail-in voting. That's the case for every other Central Florida county and could mean shorter wait times today.
And this is actually a good thing, because it's showing you that Orange County is taking it serious and taking advantage of early voting.
If you're planning to vote today, there are some things to keep in mind. You'll need to go to your designated polling place and have an ID ready. If you still have a mail-in ballot, that should now be dropped off in person at the Supervisor of Elections office, or you can bring that ballot to your polling place, and that would be exchanged for a standard ballot.
All right, and our Mark Lehman is here now. Good morning, Mark. Where are you headed?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we're heading out to UCF, where there's a precinct there that has run into some issues in the past when it comes to people casting their ballots on Election Day. And that's simply just because you have a lot of students that go to UCF. They might not necessarily be registered to vote at that location. So oftentimes we see people, students that are trying to vote there, they may still be registered back at home. And so they might run into some issues today, but that's why it's important to make sure that where you're registered, that's the precinct that you have to go and cast your ballot today.
Right. And so I noticed that you mentioned the early voting. If you still have one of those ballots, that was really some good information to keep in mind as well. You talked about at the end of the story.
Yeah, if you have a vote by mail ballot and if you didn't get a chance to put it in the mail, it's now definitely too late to do that. If you've already filled it out, they suggest that you take it in person to your Supervisor of Elections office. You can drop it off right there. Or if it's more convenient for you, you could go to your precinct, your designated polling location, take that ballot with you, and basically just exchange it for a regular ballot, and then you would just fill out that ballot right there, turn it in, and then you'd be able to cast your vote.
So you'd have to wait in line, though, to do that.
Yes.
Technically.
Yeah, depending on your location, you might not run into a line.
Yeah.
depending on the time of day as well. We've already seen some places in Orange County started out the day with long lines just because people were eager to cast their ballot before they went off to work. And that's when you
Mm-hmm.
see the busier times at the beginning of the day, maybe around lunchtime, end of the day as well. But the supervisor believes that the lines will actually be much less than what they were for early voting because so many people have already cast their votes. We're talking about more than half of registered voters in Orange
Mm-hmm.
County, about 55% have already turned in those ballots. So the belief is that you may see some long lines today, but they should be much less than what we were seeing for early voting, which has now become more popular than ever.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned like the college students, for instance. But what would have been the best idea for them maybe to make sure they had updated their IDs so that they could do it at UCF, or just make up their mind if they were going to early vote and try to go home and do it, or maybe have requested a mail-in ballot and then drop it off at the elections office? What should those out-of-town students be doing?
Yeah, I mean, they should have had this taken care of weeks ago. I mean, we've done the call centers to encourage people to update their voting address if they have moved, make it
Mm-hmm.
as easy as possible for someone to do that. But if you just forgot, then early voting probably would have been your best option because then you
Mm-hmm.
could have gone to any number of the 22 locations that are in
Mm-hmm.
Orange County and cast your ballot at any of those locations for early voting. But since that came to an end on Sunday, now you're just left with voting at your designated polling location, and it might not be convenient if you haven't changed your address and updated it with the supervisor of elections office. So, I mean,
Right.
if it could be just a matter of going to a different place in the county, but if you're
Right.
from another county or
Right.
somewhere else in the state, then that could be very inconvenient for someone trying to cast their ballot today. And that's why we stress it's so important to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that that registration is updated because no voter wants to run into a situation like this where they're not able to cast their ballot
Right.
because their registration isn't updated.
Right. And that's one of those things that people have campaigned and tried to build awareness around what you need to know, especially on the campuses, too. I'm sure there's been plenty of warning and awareness about what you should be doing, but of course,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it slips through. And so some people will probably be disappointed today because they didn't prepare
Yeah,
for, being an out of towner or maybe not having updated addresses.
yeah, that's why it takes the effort of every voter to make sure that their registration is updated so they
Mm-hmm.
can cast their ballot and don't run into any issues and make sure you know exactly where your polling location is. Try to go at a time when it's not as busy, maybe the middle of the day if you're able to. But if you do go during those busier times, just be prepared to wait because you may run into some longer lines. But the supervisor says that no matter what, if you're in line by the time polls close at 7 p.m. tonight, you will be able to cast your vote, even if it runs beyond the time from when the polls close. You just got to make sure you're in line by 7 p.m.
Okay, good deal. And so UCF, and then do you have a few other places you have to stop by, or got to see how that's looking
I
first
think
and then go from there?
yeah, we're just keeping an eye on where like the biggest turnout might be today and keeping an eye out for any potential issues that may pop up. We haven't heard of any so far this morning. I'm actually going to be talking with the supervisor here in a short while just to check
Okay.
in to see how things have been going so far. But at least so far this morning, there have been some lines, we know that,
Hmm.
but things seem to be going smooth from what we're seeing.
And there's not a tool yet, is there, where you can check to see about wait times? That's not exactly something we have yet before you go somewhere.
I know I know the supervisor of elections office have made some updates to their website where they you can track certain things on their website in real time. I haven't checked it out so far this morning, so I'm not exactly
Okay.
sure what updates they're providing. But that's definitely a good tool
Hmm.
that if you have any questions, go to your county supervisor of elections website, and they have everything there available for you to let you know exactly where you should be voting and you know to make sure that you can check on your address to see that you're registered in the proper precinct.
Right, right. All right, great deal, Mark. We'll be watching for all your updates. Hopefully, we'll have some, more definitive numbers and things this time tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see you then. We'll see you at noon.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right, thanks, Mark. And so, of course, it is the final push, and our Angie Casada explains how that the battleground states are really where it could come down to what actually happens with the outcome of this race, because, of course, the biggest race on the ballot is the White House, and Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, they were working late into the night, hoping to sway any of those last-minute voters in those battleground areas. So here is Angie with more on the wrap from last night.
Former President Donald Trump rallying well past midnight in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
But I'd like to begin by asking a question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Trump revisiting his final campaign stops from 2016 and 2020. Had the last word with a late-night rally after stumping through North Carolina and Pennsylvania.
Because over the past 4 years, Americans have suffered one catastrophic failure, betrayal, and humiliation after another.
Vice President Harris went all in on Pennsylvania.
And we will win because when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for.
Closing out a multi-stop tour of the state with star-studded concert rallies in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress.
And of course, keep it here on News 6 for nonstop coverage. We're committed to staying on as long as it takes to give you live local results and analysis from our analysts, our teams that are out in the field, as well as online at clickorlando.com. Again, here on News 6 Plus streaming app from 4 p.m. until midnight. Meantime, at 7 on our YouTube channel, News 6 anchor Lisa Bell will host a political panel this evening at 7 p.m. And the national coverage from CBS from 7 p.m. till 11 p.m. will air on WKMG News 6. So we'll be with you, of course, in the morning with the latest, starting with News 6 mornings at 5 a.m. And, of course, we'll be back here with more breakfast at 7:30 here on News 6 Plus. We are also turning 1 tomorrow, so we're so excited about that as well. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more election news. All right, of course, continuing our results 2024 news and election day coverage, AARP wants to warn people to beware of election schemes. And these are things that are coming up at the last minute. Our News 6 investigator, Louis Bolden, has more on what you need to look for in today's Schemes and Ripoffs report.
AARP is urging people to be on the lookout for election-related scams.
Anytime there is a pressing current event, right now, election season, or also hurricane-related issues, fraudsters are going to capitalize on that.
Karen Murillo says be on the lookout for phone calls and emails asking for last-minute political donations. AARP also warns of disinformation campaigns, and so does the FBI. Just last month, the FBI released this bulletin warning the public to be aware of foreign threat actors spreading disinformation. According to the bulletin, malicious actors continue to spread false information or misleading information in an attempt to manipulate public opinion. They advise to be cautious of social media posts, emails, phone calls, or texts that make suspicious claims about the elections process or its security. When I sat down with 5 local supervisors of elections, they were also concerned about disinformation. What is the biggest piece of disinformation that you would like to correct?
That your ballot's not counted. Speaking to vote-by-mail voters, it's the only method of voting that you can actually track.
And here's how you track it. Go to your local Supervisor of Elections website and sign up for ballot tracks. It takes seconds. Remember, don't fall for the scheme and don't get ripped off. But if you do, email me at lbolden@wkmg.com. Getting results, I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
All right, good information there. We want to remind you about a couple of things coming up soon. It is the peak of flu season upon us, and you know what that means. Flu shots, if you need one, want one, we have 3 events starting on November 11th across the area, teaming up with CentraCare to get you those free flu shots, and that's Monday, November 11th over on West 1st Street in Sanford, on November 13th on University Boulevard in Orlando, and on November 14th on East Highway 50 in Claremont, Vermont, we hope that you'll come out and join us. We have all the details for you at clickorlando.com. Also want to give you an opportunity to really bless someone for Thanksgiving. And Black Men Sundays Turkey Drive is back this year. Photojournalist Corey Murray and his podcast Black Men Sundays trying to raise enough to feed 50 families for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida. They had great success with support from the community last year, helping those families from the Boys and Girls Clubs. So if you'd like to make a donation to help feed families this Thanksgiving who are in need, you can scan that QR code, or you can email Corey at Corey, CORIE, at blackmensundays.com. Donations can come in through November 20th. Looking forward to another big number of families that you can help this Thanksgiving. So that's going to do it for us. We'll be back here at noon with more news and weather for you. And we'll be back with more breakfast at 7:30 tomorrow and all of your continuing coverage of Results 2024. So have a great day out there. Be safe.